we always make decisions under conditions of ambiguity, and to choose not to do something is a decision as well. I think the data would concern me the most have to do with side effects, and particularly the cardiovascular side effects. I think what we have is fairly convincing that that is not such a big area to be concerned about. Whether they have benefits, for some people it seems that they do. I agree the data are not there, but the decision of whether to take a drug or not, for me, is largely predicated on the worry about side effects.
But I'm confused by, on the one hand, you're not saying that there's a whole lot of evidence one way or the other, and your opponents are suggesting we err on the side of caution. You're saying that level of caution is not necessary?
I'm saying that level of caution, if the caution is driven by concern about side effects, is not warranted.
All right, let's take it to your opponents, Eric Racine.
Well, I think it's also important to acknowledge that we also lack data on the efficacy of these drugs. The risk could be, fairly moderate to low, but at the same time, we don't have good efficacy data. So why do something which may involve moderate risks, but actually pans out to nothing?
And Eric, when you say efficacy, you're not talking about them as a therapy for people who actually
Absolutely
have deficits
not.
of attention.
Exactly.
You're talking about whether they make people who don't have an attention deficit disorder get sort of super focused. You're saying that evidence doesn't exist.
Exactly. And one concerning aspect of the data alluded to in the discussion is the fact that these drugs could enhance motivation. You could be more eager to work, yet those effects could be those also responsible for their addictive properties. So, there are things we don't know about these drugs, and if there's actually nothing panning out in terms of benefits, it's not worth the risk. That's usually how we weigh other kinds of decisions. Moreover, when people are ill and really have serious health conditions, we are willing to take some risks. But when someone's healthy, if it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Nita Farahani.
I appreciate that Anjan is as responsible of a scientist as he is to be as cautious in his conclusions, but the data are better than I think Anjan gives credit to. And so a recent meta-analysis that was just published about modafinil showed, in fact, it does appear to be efficacious. It does seem to work and help. And I can attest as somebody who has tried modafinil that it is something that, in fact, does improve for me personally, my wakefulness, my ability to concentrate.
It's just to clarify for people, it's a medication that was developed to fight narcolepsy. The
It
tendency to
was
fall asleep.
developed to fight narcolepsy. It has been tested in Air Force pilots. It has been tested in the broader population. There are quite a few studies that show that not only does it improve things like motor coordination, but also potentially performance IQ, and it appears to come without the kind of jittery side effects that things like caffeine do. Likewise, depending on how we categorize smart drugs, which I think should be quite broad, there are drugs that improve memory. We know that these work for people who have dementia and Alzheimer's. They also appear to benefit working memory for people who do not have those types of conditions.